All right, everyone, welcome back into another Fantasy Golf video. Going to be breaking down round 4 here of the Players Championship, giving you guys the showdown picks, giving you guys some 3-ball matchup bets. And then if we have it, I'll be breaking down some prop bets for you guys. But with that, let's go ahead and take a peek at the leaderboard. So I do think it's kind of interesting, the leaderboard that we have. You know, most of it, I mean, no one was really too chalky except for Scotty. You could argue that he is actually coming in a little bit at this current place. He probably did come in a little bit over-owned, and that's because you look at two of the top leverage plays that we had, ownership leverage plays, top 10, I should say. Xander and Clark, I think they're both 7 and 8. They're currently winning. Now, the question that we're going to have about showdown purposes is, can they win? Like, will they win or will they choke? Will Brian Harman step up? Will anyone else step up? That's really what we got to try to figure out, and which other golfers could potentially make a run like someone like Sam Burns was able to do, like someone like Brian Harman was able to do in round 3 and round 2. So with that, let's just jump into the showdown tab and we can figure that out. So it has been 3 straight profitable showdown slates, and to me, guys, round 4 is always going to be the most random one. And for me, I don't really like it, and honestly, because it's been 3 straight profitable days, I'm going to probably not want to play as much. Just that's typically how it works. And so looking at round 4 showdown, obviously round 4 showdown, we do need to account for how golfers are going to finish, and obviously that's part of the reason why we do CSB a little bit more random in terms of, you know, which golfers produce, because some golfers are going to go low and really earn the points that they gain and really the top 10 finish points, and some players are going to already be there. So it is more difficult, I would say, for round 4 than really any of the other rounds. But right now we are seeing Xander number 1 priority play, then Scotty, then Clark, then Fitzpatrick, then Theegala, then Brian Harman. So that almost says that we're not going to end up on Brian Harman. Now that's for you guys to decide if you guys think that is true. And again, that's going to be the difficult part about this, is because we are typically, I mean, that's a small difference probably, right? So if you guys like him a little bit more, you can. Obera, someone that's popping up. Nate Lashley at his current place is someone that's actually popping up, and that's where it gets difficult. Like Bazoo now is really popping up considering his price, but really, I really like the price that we're getting on Sam Burns for this slate specifically. And if we look at his price, it's 8.5, and he just had an extremely low round. Honestly, left a couple, probably could be 2 more under here. But obviously he played well. Could he do that again? Honestly, he probably could. You know, he's one of the best plays coming into this week. You know, besides Scotty and O'Bear, he was the 3rd best play this week on paper. And so the fact that he went off in round 3, really not shocking, but I could get there. Corey Connors is someone that was annoying. Really, guys, I had a really awesome day going really up until the back 9. Keith Mitchell then sucked. You also had Tom Hoagie with a quad on 18. I get it, trying to get into the mix a little bit by going for the tight line that he did, but that was painful. And then Corey Connors just not really putting it all together with a good round, but still perfectly fine with those plays. But with that, let's actually just jump into win rank. This should pretty much correlate very well to what we're looking at showdown-wise. Basically, the exact same. We got Xander a little bit more, Wyndham Clark, Brian Harman, then Scotty. So maybe there's a little bit of leverage on Scotty betting-wise, but doesn't really matter too much, I would say there. Like if you want to bet on Scotty, you're just going to do it, hoping that he has a low one, and the other 3 to 4 guys there just don't have as good of a round. But with that, let's actually just go in and get to a lineup builder, see what the lineup builder spits out to us. And so right now, guys, this is what we're looking at, sorting it by value and whatnot. Adam Scott's currently the best projected value at his price tag. Whether you agree with that or not, that's up to you guys. I don't mind that. I'm kind of okay with that. It seems like whenever I trust him, he does let me down though, so maybe not too much exposure. And then we are gaining a lot of value here in this range, so obviously we're going to need a couple of these golfers to go low. I don't mind betting on that. Do I want 35% max exposure, which is typically what I set my cap at? Probably not. Like probably just like 15 to 20 for all these guys. Like don't really want to go crazy, but if one of them go low and you pair that up with, let's say, Xander and Wyndham Clark, Xander and Sam Burns, Wyndham Clark and Sam Burns, Scotty and Sam Burns, you know, whatever combination you're going for, and one of those guys goes low, that's going to really pay off. And so we do want to mix those guys in. Harris English, I don't mind. Sam Burns is actually a play I do want to get to. I do think he could have a low round. And so with that, let's just run this, see what we get. 35% max exposure, 3 unique players. Give this a generate. And we're going to see our exposures. A lot of Wyndham Clark as expected. A lot of Sam Burns as expected. A lot of Xander. The one thing I'm kind of iffy about, and if you guys watched my round 2 showdown video, you saw I capped Brian Harman and Theegala, which I always say I don't want to do that. I want the data to do the work for me. And those 2 end up going low. They end up being in my best lineups. I ended up being a top 10 Showdown lineup, which really wasn't enough for anything. But yeah, I'm struggling with Bazoon out here. I really am. I just don't see it for him. Jam I also don't really need to play that much of. And we are getting those values because while we are trying to fit in pretty desperately, Wyndham Clark, Scotty, or Xander, we're not really getting that much of Scotty, which does worry me a little bit as well. I do think even with the next stuff going on, he probably could and will have a good round in round 2. And I might want a little bit more of Obera as well. Like he is someone that had a good round, and that's really not too shocking. But again, round 4 more random. Honestly, we could maybe prepare for the randomness a little bit more, put the max exposure down to 30, but then also maybe try to lock in, let's say 40% of these two. And so the reason I say that is because maybe we can just lock in, 40% of those guys and still get them in some builds together, and then also get unique enough later on in our builds. Like I don't mind that idea. And so I'll kind of give you guys a sample build as well, more of what I'm seeing. So yeah, if you do want to go Xander, Wyndham Clark, honestly, you probably could, but you are going to have to look to more of those values then that were kind of popping up as decent value plays. So Stanger is someone that was a good stat fit for this week. It wouldn't be shocking to see him have a good low round, but like I don't love the place that he's at right now. Sam Ryder is someone that is from the area. I wouldn't mind him as a play. The issue that I'm having is just these are all golfers I just don't want to really roster. Like Alex Norn's really the first one there that I really feel decent about having a good round 4. And so this is kind of the cost of playing potentially 3 of the best Showdown plays together, is that you're gonna have to sacrifice somewhere. You're gonna have to kind of get lucky. Adam Schenk I wouldn't mind trying to get lucky with. And then we have 7.3 left over. Doug Game is a play that I was very high on this week. One of the best values, if not the best values on paper. And, that'd be a fine way to close out the build. So with that, guys, let's go in and get into the 3-ball bets, the matchup bets for, round 4. And so looking at some of the matchup bets that we get, I say 3-ball bets because it's under the 3-ball tab because it's designed really for round 1 and round 2. If you guys use it in round 2, also a profitable day there as well. About 2 units of profit on the day. So about, 5.8 on total for the week. So good stuff there. In terms of the profits that we want to be going out of our way to target for round 4, I mean, it's pretty clear. Sam Burns over Adam Schenk. Feel pretty good about that one. Cameron Young over Ryan Moore. Makes sense, right? Victor Hovland over Stanger. Again, makes sense. Tony Finau over Bryce Gardner, which again, makes sense. I don't think anyone would really be saying that any of these would be in question. Like you would literally be betting all of these pretty much with confidence. Just the payout's not going to be as much because it's a matchup bet. Really, I'd be pretty fine from honestly probably Rory up with those. I mean, really not too much to it. It's just telling us who the best bets are there. And okay, we are getting some underdog props, but just really not that many just yet. And really not that many big edges. These are mostly just going to be strokes props right now. Very tight board, I will say. 52% edge for all of them, so really not enough to really go in on any of them. And just for what it's worth, if we sort of buy strokes, and if this is something you want to do for showdown purposes, you certainly could. What it's telling us is that it does view Xander and kind of Scotty as the best plays. Maybe potentially Rory gets in the mix, but then it's kind of saying that, all right, Wyndham Clark, Matt Fitzpatrick, Aubert, Hideki, they're kind of valued the same. So this is another way where you could potentially use this to stack showdown slates. And like for what, like Brian Harmon. So this kind of echoes what the data is saying, 69.85. So compared to Wyndham Clark, who's at 69, and compared to Xander, yeah, we are going to see that we probably are prioritizing Xander over him and Wyndham Clark over him. But yeah, not enough prop bets for me to really get behind as it sits right now. Obviously, this tool is going to be updated once more prop bets are going to be made available. If you guys want access to this, go ahead and sign up to 9to5sports.com. It's available. The membership's available for $10 a month. Gives you access to all the prop tools, all the fantasy golf tools for $10 a month. The lineup builder that I showed you guys give you access to that. But that's going to be all for today's video, guys. Good luck in round 4. May your golfer not quadruple bogey on 18. And best of luck, guys. Give a like and subscribe. Appreciate it. Good luck in round 4 and with your main builds. And as always, let's keep cashing.